Thank you, Dr. Zhang. Definitely have things to think about. We really quickly want to give a shout out to the California State Assembly member, Alex Lee. Is he here? Do you want to come up and say a few words? We'd love to have you say something.
Oh, you want me to use this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, happy Lunar New Year, everyone. 恭喜发财, 恭喜发财. It's really great to see so many different people here and different cultures right now represented here right now in our celebration. You know, of course, our API community is struggling right now, reeling from some really horrific incidents earlier in this week, but we still persevere, we still prosper, and I'm really happy to represent us in the state legislature. In fact, I just came from a all-day retreat with our API legislative caucus to discuss how we're gonna address a lot of these hate crimes, violent incidents, and also how we're gonna support and transform our education system for the future. So thank you all for being here, and happy Lunar New Year.
Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, we're going to transition next to our Civic Leadership Forum. So I'm going to invite up Joel Wong to introduce everyone.
Okay, it's a privilege and honor to be moderating such an illustrious panel. The first panel member I want to invite up is Kathy Watanabe. She is council member, City of Santa Clara. Come up, Kathy. Chris Norwood, Milpitas Unified School District Board Director, President. Francisco Espirito, he is the co-founder and CEO, he's the publisher and president of Filipino News Today. Christine von Resfeld, co-founder, CEO, People with Empathy. Okay. And then Naomi Nakano Matsumoto, is she here? And Tran Vu. Come on up. Okay, I think we have exactly 40 minutes, so we're going to do very quickly. We're going to go around the table and have you introduce yourself a little bit more in detail, but not more than 1 minute.
Well, thank you, Joel. As Joel said, I'm Kathy Watanabe. I'm a council member here in the city of Santa Clara, and I'm very proud to say that I actually represent the most culturally diverse district in the city of Santa Clara, which means that I've got Asian, I've got Indian, every nationality in my district. So, and as the mayor said earlier, Santa Clara is a very culturally diverse city, and I am proud to be able to represent the vast majority of them in my district. Thank you, Joel.
Chris?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Norwood. I am the current board president of the Milpitas Unified School District and the vice chair of the City of Milpitas Economic Development and Trade Commission. The city of Milpitas has a large Asian population in our school district, as well as a number of companies that are from that part of the world. We look forward to continuing to work with the AAPI community to solve problems, to make sure that they get the best education possible, and that we can make the world a better place. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Gong Hei Fa Choi. My name is Francis Espiritu. I'm the publisher of Philippine News based in South San Francisco. The paper started since 1961, but I joined the company in 1996. So I've been publisher 24 years now, and I'm honored to be part of this event and collaborating with AAPI, and also thanks for Diane for inviting us. Thank you.
My name is Christine von Reisfeld. I actually was born and raised here in Santa Clara, grew up here. I am half Filipino, half white, And I run a small nonprofit that's working to really improve the patient experience in healthcare and hoping to accelerate the conversation around health in our Asian American communities.
Hello, my name is Tran Vu. I wasn't born here. I was born in Vietnam, but I have lived here like more than 40 years. So I'm more or less like Santa Clara citizen, right? So Happy New Year. Công hy phát sỏi. Công chúc tân xuân, chúc mừng năm mới. Bon Nouvelle année. I currently am working with a Vietnamese TV station as an announcer, but I keep myself low key. So I'm honored to be invited here by my friend Queenie Ngo. Instead, she should have been here, but she put me up here, so I try to do my best. Okay, thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Naomi Nakano Matsumoto. I am currently a trustee with the Fremont Union High School District Board, which encompasses primarily Sunnyvale and Cupertino. Most of our students are students of color, but 60% of our students are Asian Pacific Islander.
Okay, we have 2 rounds of questions. The first round, I'm going to ask them 3 questions. They have 2.5 minutes to answer this. Question number 1, in your own opinion, why is diversity important? Question number 2, what is unique about you and your background? And third, what can fellow Americans learn from my background? Okay?
Okay. So why is diversity important? Well, I think it's evident here right now in this room why diversity is important. Diversity is important because we learn so much from each other. And as is going to be expressed here today during this Lunar New Year celebration, I mean, we learn about each other's culture. We learn about dance. We learn about music. We learn to share with each other the things that are important to us, what is important to our heritage, and we get to share that. And so as a mom now, I really try to share this with my daughter and make sure she's 21, but make sure she understands, you know, her background. Just as a point of reference, I'm married to a man, Carl Watanabe, and he is actually half Chinese, half Japanese. So we have a lot of culture in our family, and I'm happy to say that, you know, as we have tried to express it to our daughter, this is an art piece that she did in high school, and it really meant a lot to me that she, of all the things she could have drawn, she chose cherry blossoms and Kenji, you know, to express something that was very important to her. And actually in college, she's actually taken calligraphy lessons. And actually Asian calligraphy, studying Asian calligraphy. So it tells me that my daughter really understands the importance of heritage and her background, and that she wants to continue with it. And I think that's what is so important about diversity, and sharing that with our children so that these it will continue. It's not just going to stop like with this generation, it will continue for generations on. And what, Joel, what was the last question? Do you want me to answer all of them at once?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What can fellow Americans learn from my background?
From your background, my
your
background.
background.
Okay, so again, from my background, well, just so you know also as well, both my parents came here from Ireland. So I'm from a family of immigrants. And I know how important it was for my parents to leave their country and come here. But at the same time, I'll tell you, when I was in 6th grade, one thing that was when I first learned about the internment camps, and it really spoke a lot to me and really caused me to say, you know, this is wrong, and we need to look out for each other. And so as I have grown and had opportunities to be able to express myself and show how much I appreciate not just my culture, but all cultures, because as the song goes, we all belong together. We're all here right now. We belong together. And it's so important to continue to share that message, not from my background, but to all backgrounds, and show that we really can learn from each other, we can grow from each other, and keep these traditions and culture alive every day. So thank you, Joel.
Okay. Chris, your turn.
Okay, the questions, you gotta
The
go.
question is, why is diversity important? What is unique about your background? And what can fellow Americans learn from your background?
Okay. So I think I'll answer the questions in just somewhat of a fluid manner. I grew up in a city called Milpitas, California. It's about, 15, 20 minutes away from here. And the city of Milpitas has always been diverse since I was a child. And the diversity of the city has allowed me to experience a lot of different things, enjoy a lot of different cultures, and have the opportunity to be elected in the city of Milpitas, where the African American population is only 4% black. So growing up in the city of Milpitas in such a diverse community, it allowed me to learn so much about so many other nationalities, so many other races, so many other cultures. And the one thing that you do learn is that we all have different struggles. Our parents have all come from much tougher times than we have today. You always hear stories about struggle, about different types of racism, you hear about hate, you hear about all types of things in a diverse world, in a diverse community. And when we recognize that our stories are so much more common than they are different, then we have the ability to bond together and solve some of the problems that are being solved right now. Not in isolation, but as a collective group. So that's what you can learn from my background, is that, yes, I understand your struggles, and I hope that you would invest the time to understand some of mine and of my people in America. What I think about why diversity really matters is because no one culture has the market on the smartest people. No one culture has the market on the best ideas. And when we're all together working on things, amazing things happen. The best things in the world happen. That's why so many people try to come to the United States of America. They want to be a part of the best, not to be isolated necessarily with one culture or in one direction. So what you can learn from diversity is that the more diverse that we are, the better the world will be. And when you're willing to learn about other cultures and invest the time in it, you realize that they're not that different from you, that they want the best for their children. They want the best for their parents. And then they want to have the best possible life that they can. They say in America, you have the right to pursue happiness. That doesn't mean you're gonna be happy, but you have the right to pursue it. And when we recognize the fact that when we pursue this happiness together, recognizing our diversity, we can do amazing things. Thank you.
Francis? Francisco?
Yeah, to me, I think diversity is important, especially that's why United States is right now the greatest country, because everybody wants to live there, because we were, the chance of opportunity is unlimited. As Californian, as myself, an individual, I mean, we should try to learn different culture as they would also learn my culture. In truth, we are all similar. We are all family-oriented people. We care with our kids, our children, education. But I guess for us to really be open to it, we should learn other. We should learn the struggle of our brother, the African American, or Japanese, American, Chinese American, Filipino American. From there, that's where we would only understand each other's struggle. And then in terms of what they can learn, I think I wouldn't say I'm unique, because I guess all of us have our own identity. But if you think, culture-wise, we love culture, we love social family gatherings, we love to party. Like us Filipino, we'd like to sing karaoke, And I mean, I would love to learn the culture of, spending with the Chinese people, with the African American, with the Vietnamese people, with the Indian people. And then from there, that's the only thing, like I said, we will understand everybody's culture.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Christine?
So diversity, I think, to me is important because I think having real diversity builds understanding behind communities. My history, I grew up, my grandparents came to the Philippines with my mother, or came from the Philippines with my mother. And myself and a lot of my friends are part of this lost generation where when we came, they wanted to assimilate, and we lost a lot of our culture. And so for me, growing up, the Filipino culture was food and family, but not much else. And so I think it's important to learn your history, and especially when it comes to health conditions. I think as an Asian population, we have different traits and things that don't really match up with others, and we have to find out about ourselves in order to help our own communities and to help ourselves.
Thank you.
This microphone doesn't work because it doesn't belong to this system, okay? To me, diversity, first let me say about diversity. The Vietnamese people came to this country by accident as a result of a failed war between capitalism and communism, right? So when we came here, diversity is like, we have no idea about it. The only thing we know is us and Black Americans, white Americans. That's it. We don't know about the other race at all. And then the only thing that back at that time we worried about is we don't have fish sauce to eat, because fish sauce to Vietnamese is like the main ingredient, right? So, but then gradually we try to assimilate to the country, and we learned that there are more people, like from all over the world, and then we learned that there were like more than 100 countries, people from more than 100 countries here. So it's like a God experiment to try to mix people together, and then so that we can live together. We learn from each other. So diversity to us becomes like, oh, this is it. This contributes to the dynamism of the whole country. Right. So my background is like, I was born Vietnamese, so I speak Vietnamese. However, I went to a French high school. And then I went to France to study, lived there for 6 years, started to learn more about German, Flemish, Spanish, French, and then I got to live with them, because in Europe, people mix all over the place. So you have Italian espousing English, or like you can see Belgium with a father from Spain. So I got to be exposed to a lot of diversity over there. And in Europe, you see different kind of culture everywhere you go. Just one step, and then across the frontier, and you see that. Here, everywhere you go is McDonald's and then Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, so I, after 6 years, I came here to join my parents. They fled the country back in '75. Then, with all the experience that I collected from Europe, I came here, and then I started to live that kind of experience, like American, European. I used to speak with English with a European accent, and people laugh at me. But I see that as time goes, the younger generation starts to they were born they were born here, and that they grow up living with other kids from other countries, from other races, and that they started to have the same kind of thinking that we now, my generation, call them like the Asian kids with American mentality. So they think like Americans, and sometimes my parents or our parents or even our generation, we complain that, oh, they are all Americans. We cannot keep them Vietnamese. However, we see that, you see all the young girls down there, young ladies there, they're wearing Vietnamese dress. And some of them, like 10, 12 years old, they try to learn Vietnamese. And that is something that's the beautiful thing with the diversity. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think my colleagues on the panel talked about diversity similar to what I would say. But what I want to add is how important it is to embrace and value diversity. And one of the things that I know it's very simplified, but it was described to me in a sense of having different spices in your life. And I hope I don't offend anyone, but you know, we need more than salt and pepper, you know, to have cumin and anise and all these different spices. You can take the same food and that flavoring becomes very different. So I think that's what I would like to see. With what makes me a little bit different, I am a third generation Japanese American. My family has been in this country for over 100 years. My family is also on our fifth and sixth generation. Many of my relatives are blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and you would never know that they had any Japanese blood in them. But with that, I hope that they carry the traditions and the culture and the values of our community. And the last thing I wanted to add is that for the Japanese American community, when they were here during World War II, they were incarcerated into concentration camps. And when they were released, they were told to lay low and not stand out. So they stopped using their language. Many who were Buddhists became Christians so that they could assimilate. And so many of my peers don't speak Japanese, don't understand. And so what's important is that you carry on and you carry your language, because when you lose your language, you lose part of yourself and your culture. So that's something that I hope that all of you parents and all of you students will make sure that you are holding on to your culture and valuing that and carrying that forward.
Thank you, Naomi. My last round is to ask each one of you, limit to 1 minute. Every immigrant brings a gift to America. So what are the gifts that you want to share with fellow Americans?
The gift that I would want to share with fellow Americans is respect. Because I think unless we respect each other and appreciate each other, then we can't truly honor each other and listen to each other. So it's very important to be open and to have respect, because that's how we will grow.
Thank you. Chris?
I would say that the gifts that, if I look at it through a lens of African ancestry, I could say creativity, the arts, music, and just a respect and appreciation for the deepness of culture. Again, recognizing that it takes a fabric, a lot of different flavors or a lot of different spices, and from the continent of Africa, there are a lot of different fabrics and spices that are permeated throughout the world, and just as it is from the Asian countries as well. So I would say creativity, arts, leadership, dance, music, philosophy.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the gift that Filipinos will bring here in the U.S. is, I would say, respect and compassion. I think with that, it's unlimited. As you can see, right now, Filipinos are more, there's a lot of them now in the medical profession, like the nurses, caregivers, who's taking care of our elders. I think that's the important gift that we can bring or we can share to everybody, to to the whole American people. So, thanks.
Thank you.
I would say, well, I was born here, but from my culture, what I learned is more about community and family and acceptance, and I don't see that in a lot of other, and I think that in the Filipino community, we feed you all and we make you eat and eat and eat and then sing. So I think more of that understanding and that love that we need back in our world.
Oh, thank you. Okay. The gift that my people bring to this country is first the love of freedom, then the rejection of totalitarianism, okay, and then of course our culture, then fish sauce, then the pho soup, and then the sriracha. Okay.
For me, and this is just personal to me, it is community and interdependence.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you very much for bringing all the gifts to the United States. So now let's give them a big hand. And let's enjoy the rest of the festivities. Okay, thank you.